This is an introductory video to using RCcontroller. After downloading it, you open the application and first you actually see a dark screen. So you have to set up a controller. You click on the settings button and click on add controller. You type in your controller name. Let's call it my controller test. Okay. We have the name of the controller we just created here. Because we are going to use Bluetooth for communication in this particular demonstration, we have to set the connection mode to Bluetooth, and for that matter, we have to also set the write delay. The write delay is basically the delay for every frequent control send. So if we set it to say 200 milliseconds, the frequent control values are going to be sent to our remote device here every 200 milliseconds. Now, because our remote device doesn't have any camera, we don't have any video feed, so we don't need to activate video stream. This is where we can add our seldom controls, and that is where we can add our frequent controls, and this is where we add the parameters. So we click here to add frequent controls. We have the option to choose a button, a switch, a toggle button, a seek bar, joystick, device page, and device role. So let's see how each of these look like. We select a button. Let's add a switch, a toggle button, a seek bar. You can actually go into each of them and modify the look and feel. You can increase the width of the seek bar, which I just did. Here you set the max and min values. So the max, I just set it to 100. The min is 0. You can also make it vertical or horizontal. Then we add a joystick. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Alright. Then we add device page and device role. Alright. Now, parameters are values coming from your remote device. Now, based on the Arduino code I have, I'm sending two parameters, param1 and param2. So I need to add just two parameters. For the parameters, if you have a GPS, you need to choose latitude and longitude. That is, if one of your values is latitude or longitude, you have to choose those here in order to be able to use the map in the app. If you have a gyroscope or an accelerometer, you have to choose azimuth, pitch, or roll. so that you can use the OSD graphics. So because my parameters in this setup are just random values, I can choose other, and we can call the first one my parameter 1, and the second one other, we call it my parameter 2. You can also set the units. We should just leave it to units since they are already random values. So we are done. We go back, we choose the controller we just set up, and we go back. You can see all the controls are clustered in the top left corner. So we click on the toggle drag and drop button, and we have the blue boundary showing, which means we can drag. Then we drag the controls to the positions we want. Alright, we turn it off, and these positions are saved. The toggle button looks so small. We can make it bigger here. We go back, and we can increase the width to like 70 and the height to 70. Alright, it's okay now. So this is how our setup looks like. We can now proceed to the remote device and see how that also looks. I have here my SparkFun Blue Smurf Silver and an Arduino Uno. I have everything set up. If you look at the code, you can understand the correct wiring to do. So what I'm basically doing in the loop is I'm reading whatever my smartphone is sending to the Bluetooth radio, and over here incrementing these variables I created up here, one increment by 1 on each loop and the other increments by 2. So these are my parameters. Because I have to have a suffix of p and a prefix of p and a suffix of the new line character for RCcontroller to understand that payload is for parameter values. I have to have the p and the new line character at the end for each parameter payload. So that is very important. So let's see how it works. I've already uploaded code. All I need to do is open the serial monitor, and I have the correct baud rate settings. So that is the connect button to start communicating with your remote device. You should also make sure the Bluetooth device is already paired with the phone. So that is the device, the first one, RMBT A6AC. You click on it and it's connected. You can see here I'm getting some data. I'm getting garbage. Alright. Okay. Oh, it's okay now. So you can see that the first value is this. That is the button. When I push the button, I get a 1. When I leave it, I get a 0. For the switch, when I turn it on, I have a 1. That is my second control. Now the third control is the seek bar. Let's set it to like 65. We come here, we see 65 as the third control. Okay, and sorry, that was the fourth control. The third control, I don't know what it is, but let's see. That is probably the toggle button. So I turn it on and you can see the third value is a 1. Joystick. The joystick is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The joystick is the fifth and sixth value. The fifth value is the pan of the joystick, and the sixth value is the tilt. So let's see, when I pan, you can see the values range from -10 to +10, and when I tilt, it goes the same way. Yeah, you can see here. And my parameter values are changing. You can see that it's incrementing. One is incrementing by 1, the other is incrementing by 2. So this is basically what RCcontroller does. It's just an app that communicates with a remote device via any of the communication protocols that you had the option to choose when we were setting up the controller. Either Bluetooth, socket I/O, TCP socket, and a USB transceiver. And in this setup, we were using Bluetooth. So in the real world, my parameter 1 could be like a temperature sensor on the remote device, and when you read the value, you just package like all your values in this format, and then you write it to the Bluetooth TX, and it gets sent to the other Bluetooth device it's communicating with, which is the phone. And that is what RCcontroller receives and then shows up here. Yeah, so folks, this is RCcontroller. You should just play with it and build stuff. Good luck. Bye.